Well, welcome to another episode of the Futurum Tech Webcast. My name's Steven Dickens, and I'm joined today by my dear friend, Nick Delis from 5 9. Hey, Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, I can't tell you how excited I am because we've been waiting for a long time to get together and do this. And I got to tell you, getting on with one of my friends and talking about technology and trends, I love that stuff. So thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I do a lot of these. I speak to some fantastic people. I get some amazing insights. But I'm really looking forward to today because I'm going to get all of that and a whole bunch of fun as well. So, should be a great episode. Let's get diving straight in here, Nick. Maybe for the listeners and viewers, tell us a little bit about your role and what you do for 5 9.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the Global Vice President of International and Strategic Business. So I handle everything outside of the US, and then I also handle all our strategic business actually around the globe, including the US. So just a lot of fun. I've been doing this for about 10 years with Five9, and I've been doing customer experience slash contact center slash, whatever else you want to call it over the years that have transformed for about the last 20 plus years. And I don't want to date myself, so I say 20 plus because I think it's like 30 now. So I'm just going to say 20 plus. How about that?
We've both got some white in our beards, so let's just leave it at that.
I had a great mentor tell me that someday I'll be a great leader as long as I got some gray hair. Well, I got the gray hair.
You're definitely one of the most traveled executives. We follow each other and have some fun on social media. I think you could go. It reminds me of that character that George Clooney played, where he's sort of clicking over 10 million miles. Your travel schedule's insane.
It is insane. But the one great thing about that is you get to talk to so many companies and so many executives around the world to get a perspective. And then you take these industries, whether it be a bank in Colombia or a bank in the UK or a bank in the US or, and you take and compare and you do a compare and contrast on what the technologies are they're using and what they treat customer experience like. It's really interesting. So it's brought just this level of uniqueness to my role. And I'm really excited to be able to share that with folks. And I do quite often, of course, without divulging, key information from one place to the other. But I do have a chance to talk about all these trends and over a lot of different industries. So it's really exciting.
Well, that leads me into my first question, Nick. We've spoken a bunch of times. And you covered it there. You've got this fantastic industry depth and experience. You've worked at 5 9 for a number of years now, but you've also got this truly global experience. You speak to so many customers globally. Probably one of the few people I trust to give me a truly global perspective on the current status and trends in CX. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are customers talking to you about?
So the whole buzz is around AI and automation. So that's standard. So no matter where you go around the world, you hear the same buzz. The thing is though, is it's not being adopted the same way. And it's not being implemented as fast as you'd think. So if I go from east to kind of west, you take a look at the DACH region and our DACH region and Benelux, they're actually just now converting the large businesses into cloud. So they're going from these premise legacy solutions that don't have all this capability to now shifting over to cloud. So that's stuff that we did in the US and in other markets a lot earlier. So they're now, making that shift. If you walk into the UK and Ireland in that area, that shift has happened. They're actually on the second generation of cloud. They're looking at more of these AI tools to help automate their business, to help bring better self-service. So that's one of the big trends is self-service, but putting the right agents and the right technology in place. So leaving that out of the way, forget the technology. It's just trying to bring a better customer experience. And then if you start trending over to Latin America is super hot. They want to adopt this technology as fast as possible. It doesn't matter if they're small businesses, mid-sized businesses, large businesses, super large businesses. They're all trying to adopt the technology very quickly. And one of the areas that they're finding is that they're willing to make the investment. Digital first is really big in Latin America, even more so than I would say Europe. So Europe is definitely digital first, but Latin America is 57% of the consumers out there use WhatsApp to communicate. So, integrations to WhatsApp and other social media platforms on top of that are really prevalent. And we're starting to see not only are the big banks actually ahead of the game, they actually are at the forefront. And not only are they at the forefront, but their adaptation of technology when they need to make the changes quickly, they're very quick and nimble to do that. And their technology is phenomenal. They use Five9 in their entire platform, but they integrate with so many different things. It's great to see that adaptation. So a lot of trends happening where we're starting to see AI being adopted at different levels, at different times, and at different places. And then I'd kind of finish this with saying, if you look at the three pillars, you look at the customer, the agent, and the business, and then you take that as a pre-call, during call, and post-call. The adaptation of AI and automation is happening in all those three different areas right now. The business wants to get real-time data so they can make decisions. They don't have time to wait in the background. The agent needs that data in their hands as fast as possible so that they can make next best actions and immediate decisions. And that brings in great customer satisfaction. So the trend and the tolerance for poor customer experience is very little right now. And we're seeing that trend too.
Nick, it's always fascinating when I hear you talk about the global adoption. You hear about the DAC region moving to the cloud. Maybe the US has moved there already. You talk about mobile first in Latin America and key platforms like WhatsApp. We use that in the Western world a lot, but it's more prevalent. And I know I've got some South American friends, that's their communication platform of choice. Obviously, AI is huge right now. You speak to a lot of these brands. What do customers expect from these brands? Do they expect these businesses to leverage AI? What are you hearing in that space?
So let's start from the baseline, right? Forget what the technology is. I believe that the biggest trend that you're seeing there is post-pandemic, and I've always been coached, stop talking about the pandemic. We can't, because the psychological effects it's taken on the consumer, whether it be a business consumer or a consumer, right? So if you look at those two areas, that psychological effect is expecting the highest level of customer service, and the tolerance for poor customer service is just it's intolerable at this point. So I think you've probably seen me post a few times. I have fun with the airlines a little bit, and some of them have. I have fun with the airlines a lot of bit, but the most fun I have is to see, like, it's so maybe their application isn't working that great, but when you get to the airports, the physical customer service and customer experience is great. But then you get to the club lounge, and the club lounge is poor. And then you get to the gate, and the gate's fantastic. But then you get on the plane, and they forget to serve it. So it's real inconsistency of experience. So it's not just the AI and the technology that goes behind that; it's actually the soft skills that go behind it too. Those soft
So
skills are really important.
augmenting the digital with the physical is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then of course, as we talk about balancing, digital agents versus human agents, as you talk about all that, it's still you're still looking for one thing, which is great empathy, great EQ. So the emotional quotient has to be there, because when you go through all these industries, so if you're in the insurance industry, you have a death in the family or something, going through an automated process is the last thing you want. I don't need to know what my policy, size is. I don't need to know how to, get a copy of my policy. I need somebody with empathy to help walk me through something like that. And that's not a technology thing. That's a people soft skill piece. So there is a great balance. So what I'm seeing is the mundane, repetitive tasks are being handled by technology. The real life human empathetic conversations are all happening with human beings, and it's quality of conversation, not quantity. It's not average handle time. It's not, it is first call resolution, but it's not average handle time. It's quality of that conversation with
And do you
empathy.
see the generative AI sort of interfacing at that kind of human level and augmenting to deliver some of those experiences that you just mentioned. So the generative AI is able to make it a better experience, but that experience is delivered via a human. Is that kind of what you're seeing?
It's right what I'm seeing. As we go forward in time, AI is learning so fast. The generative AI is absolutely amazing. A half hour after you have a very poor experience, the experience becomes so incredibly better by the learning that happens very quickly. So I am definitely seeing that there is a trend where we're gonna start to see a lot of those empathetic conversations in the future, but for now, I haven't seen anything that would tell me that I want self-service when I have fraud on my bank account and I lost all my money. I don't have any technology right now other than a human that helps me through a death in the family, or my house burning down, or something that requires an empathetic conversation. So I do believe that there's an augmentation, at some front end point, at some self-service point, but there's definitely a crossover from self-service to human, interaction that helps close that loop.
And is that, do you see the AI being able to sort of augment and help provide some context, maybe be able to provide some an adaptive kind of talk script to the agent whilst they're trying to be empathetic to somebody with some of those life transforming events that you talked about? Is, do you see that there's kind of a going hand in hand there?
Yeah, there really is. There really is that front end conversation, and even during the conversation where AI is picking up sentiment and, maybe the tone of the voice of the agent versus the tone of the voice of the customer. Um, all that stuff is really relevant, and I believe that technology is going to be used in the future to help build that experience to the next level. So absolutely, I do see technology playing a key role here. I do see generative AI, automation, and all the tools that go behind it from the beginning of the conversation, whether it's digital or voice, all the way through, and closing the loop 360 degrees. Absolutely.
I mean, I think we agree on the technology sort of generally. Are you seeing different geographical takes on this? I'm always fascinated when I speak to you, your sort of insight into those regional markets. With AI, what are we, 6, 9 months into generative AI? You seeing sort of geographic trends emerging?
Yeah, totally. So I would say everybody is talking about, and I wish I had a statistic that goes with it. I haven't really drilled into a stat. You might have that, at your fingertips somewhere. But what I'm definitely seeing is the interest is there, the drive is there. It's probably one of the fastest, technologies and changes in technology in the contact center space I have ever seen. In 20 plus years, I'm still going with 20 plus, 20 plus years of being in
You're
this.
not going to admit to 30 yet. We'll get
I'm
you
not
there by
doing
the end of
it.
the podcast.
I'm not doing it. It's not going to happen. So 20 plus years of doing this. This is
29
the
still counts as 20 plus, Nick.
It
Come on.
does. It does. And so does 29 and 11 months. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, but that, in that time frame, seeing how customer experiences evolve, seeing how applications, on mobile devices are driving, better customer experience, seeing how all that technology around it is adapting this quickly in such a short period of time is absolutely mind-boggling. It's unbelievable.
Are you seeing the adoption cases be different in different geographies? Are you seeing a European trend, a LATAM trend, an APJ trend? What are you, or is it even lower level than that and it's country sort of specific? What are you seeing in that space?
So I would actually go vertical by country too. So
Hmm.
if you look at the verticals that are trying to adapt technology better, especially those with the big repetitive tasks. So you have retail, you have, the banking, you have insurance sectors. Those are really great areas. And then if you look at a different vertical, which is the BPOs that actually handle all of these, different verticals too. The BPOs have actually adapted that technology faster than anybody else. because they've had so many different use cases where they have to put it. We have Connecta and Atento as customers, within our organization, and both of them are driving technology to the next level. They're seeing that need from their banking customers, from their insurance customers. So it's not just, and if I go to a couple countries. So if you look at Colombia, once again, Colombia is actually trying to adopt technology faster than anybody, especially in those key sectors. You're also seeing, the one thing that I don't see as fast in the U.S. is when I want to get food delivered to me at my house, Grubhub or Uber Eats or any of those. If I get something in 45 minutes to an hour at my house, I'm pretty happy. When I order it in Colombia or if I order it in Spain, it's to my house in 10 minutes or 15, because the level of adoption of how they take that technology, how they deliver it to real human beings, and how that logistics is delivered faster is amazing. So
Is
you
that
are
because they're
seeing
skipping technology and there's less technical debt? Is that what you're seeing? They're able to maybe jump ahead because there's not that kind of technical debt and that kind of legacy system. They're able to jump straight to the answer. Is that what you're
it.
seeing?
It really is, right? Because if you look at those legacy players, there are a lot of legacy providers that have built some incredible systems. I'm not going to go and tout some of our competition or the past, but there's some great premise technology that was out there. The problem is that going from a premise solution to a cloud solution and adopting these newer technologies is a forklift. So
Hmm.
if you look at some of the big players, that if you go to the Gartner Magic Quadrant and look at the top right players there, uh, you know, there's a couple that stand out that you have a legacy platform, and going from their top end legacy platform to a cloud solution actually is a forklift.
It's
And
disruptive, is your
it's
point.
disruptive. Yeah, it's disruptive, time consuming and disruptive. And the one there are definitely three trends that I see when I'm trying to adopt AI, which is, and they're all around cost, right? So time, ease of application, and then the actual maintenance of the solution. So if you look at that, they're all time and money based. So when you're looking at making a huge investment to do a forklift upgrade and move over, that could be very disruptive to businesses. So the nimbleness of these smaller players like e-banks, like these delivery services that came on the scene in the last couple of years, where they're so nimble because their ERP and their CRM systems are advanced, as well as their contact center solutions that all integrate together and provide the best data for making quick decisions, quick logistical, actions, and servicing customers at such a high level. So it's amazing.
Well, it sounds it's that cloud native piece. They're all born on the cloud. There's not that technical debt. So the ability, and you guys do a great job with the feature velocity within the core product, but that's harder to consume on prem than it is in the cloud. So the ability, those kind of some of those legacy providers, they're just hamstrung from the get go to try and leverage. You guys, as I say, do a great job around feature velocity, and there's new stuff coming on a regular basis. But if you can't adopt it and then bake it into your business, it's tougher.
It really is. It really is. And so I see that's why some of the largest players that solutions that I sold years ago are starting to go by the wayside. They can't,
Hmm.
oh, we have a cloud solution come out. Well, it's not really cloud. It's kind of hosted. It's single tenant. There's this confusion. They're not able to make that jump over. So it's opened up the markets, and it's like that for a lot of different industries. The big premise players of the past are starting to kind of go away, and you see these brand new nimble companies. And even our company, we're 20 years old. We're 22 actually, and we're super nimble on the technologies we have to bring out. We're utilizing generative AI. We're, as Mike Berkman said in one of the earnings calls, it was the best analogy I could possibly make. If you look at AI and if you look at automation that goes with it, it's a jet engine. So, but you can't strap on a jet engine to the back of my back and fly from New York to Madrid. It's impossible. I don't think that technology exists. If it does, I'd really like to test it out. It'd
Yeah,
be really cool.
you'd be one of the pilot
I,
customers for that, literally.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy. But I don't think that technology exists. You need the fuselage. You need all the people that are behind it. You need the technologies like workforce optimization and all the core technologies of routing and all these other things that go along with it, which is actually the fuselage of the plane. But the great thing about that is there are so many engine manufacturers out there, Pratt and Whitney, General Electric, all these different companies, Rolls-Royce, that you can take those engines and move them out and put something else out there as this generative AI starts to get a lot more legs than what it even has today. You're seeing such quick adoption by so many different companies that have their own tools out there. And guess what? The great thing is we are doing a great job because we're nimble like that. We know we can change that jet engine out really quick and apply it to our tech.
So it's September. You've got 20 plus years we've discussed of experience in this space, 20 plus years. We're starting to, it's crazy that I'm saying this in September, but we're starting to look ahead into 2024. What do you see as the key trends? Maybe there's a global trend perspective here. What do you see as the key trends adding to 2024 for CX?
So if I were to base it, let's start with the big picture. I see customer experience needing to even elevate even further. So there's so many studies out there that are showing that everybody's looking for that elevated experience, which means that on the front end systems, technologies like IVA, interactive virtual agents, things like that, speech recognition with a lot of AI that's put behind it that makes conversations flow a little bit better. I believe that is one of the biggest trends. We're seeing a huge attachment rate at all the different levels around the globe. So
Hmm.
everybody wants to adopt it. Everybody wants to get it in as fast as possible. And the great news is that because it uses such great technology in the background, it's all drag and drop and easy to use, and machine learning takes over and helps it make it even smarter. So I think that's one of the big keys. I think I really believe that the agent empowerment, being able to empower the agent so that they can build that next level of experience there. So next best action tools. So I believe the next generation of agent assist tools are out there. They're starting to get driven, and you know that's something that I believe the agents are going to take advantage of fully to help make them smarter. So I always talk about in the US, I talked about a $6 an hour agent. Well, I guess minimum wage isn't $6 anymore, but let's just call it what it is. But you take that and bring all that intelligence, and they make them $100 an hour agent. You make them so much smarter with that great technology. So I believe that adoption is coming forth, in this recent year. I think 2024 is going to be even more of that. And then on the back end, the AI tools for analyzing business are through the roof. There are so many new technologies, including stuff that we developed, in-house to take a look at the entire data lake. I think the consolidation of data is very key. What most companies have realized that they have so much disparate data all over the place that the consolidation into a data lake or some way to consolidate it and make it easier to index and have AI learn from it. I believe that is actually one of the biggest plays. And if you look at the one technology or the one kind of function or byproduct of this is personalization. So all these tools is bringing out a better personalized experience for the customers. So as we call it, 5-9 joy. So it's part of our 5-9 joy, but that personalized experience is really important to be able to gain a trusted customer. And if you look at the economic downturns right now that are happening. So okay, great. The Fed didn't raise the rates here this go around. Who knows what's going to happen later? But interest rates are at a very high level right now. You're going to start to see a lot of folks defaulting on their loans. Those variable loans are a killer for a lot of folks. Credit card debt massing up. Who are they going to do business with? Are they going to do business with the company that they don't know? Or are they going to continue to pay the company that they have a relationship with so that as you get out of this downturn, they have a trusted advisor in a financial institution? And I believe that they're going to go with the technology and the trusted advisor over, somebody who builds a relationship over just a piece of plastic that they got through the mail.
I couldn't agree more, Nick. I mean, I think the thing you touched on it earlier, the emotional intelligence, that's crucial. A fantastic summary. You and I could talk for hours. We often do. Really enjoyed the conversation, Nick. Thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure. And anytime, I love having conversations with you. And I think we still have a show about watches that we need to do.
I think you're going to be a guest on that show. Well, you've been listening to the Futurum Tech Webcast. I'm Steven Dickens, your host. Please do all the things to click and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.